Hey, it's Rick again. How you doing? Today we're going to talk a little bit, very little bit, about some basic creative financing. Anybody can go find a property in the MLS, which we talked about last time, which you don't want to do, and go to a bank, some institutional lender, and get financing. I prefer not to do that. I try to avoid banks whenever possible. Why? Because I want to create terms that are beneficial to me, not beneficial to them. In the last video, we talked about not finding distressed sellers, but not finding distressed properties, but distressed sellers. People say to me, well, Rick, I'm looking for a great deal. You don't look for great deals. You don't look for great deals. You create great deals, usually with the terms and the financing. So if I can get seller financing, that is, I'll ask an owner, do you have a mortgage on the property? No, I don't. When they say that, for me it's like a blank canvas for a painter. I can be creative. I can say to them, listen, how about if I give you a down payment and then you be the bank, where you will get a monthly annuity every month, because you're the bank. Instead of me paying the bank, I'm paying you. You're getting a monthly annuity that's safe because it's secured by your property. Would that be of interest to you? If they say yes, then I can create anything I want. I can have something with no due on sale clause, which would be beneficial to me, which I'll explain. Any interest rate I want. I have a property now with 3 family where I have owner financing at 2%. How do you do 2%? Well, he didn't want the property. The money wasn't unimportant to him. Get this monkey off my back. So one of the things that I talk about when I do seller financing is including a clause in there called first right of refusal. So for example, let's say I'm able to negotiate a 10-year note with the seller. Why would the seller want 10 years? Well, he's an older guy, we'll say, older couple. Instead of putting money in an IRA, which goes up, goes down, I'm paying them 5-6%. They're getting a monthly check. They know what the check is. They don't have to think about it. It comes in the mail. They're happy. They don't want me to pay them off early. They want that for 10 years. Okay, well, I can do 2 things. First, I'm going ahead of myself a little bit. We'll talk about the first right of refusal first. First right of refusal says that if they want to sell the note prior to its maturity, they can shop it around, but they have to come to me first. So for example, if I'm doing a 10-year note at, well, let's just say 4%. You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. You can do a 4% note. And before the maturity, year 5, they say, we want the cash. They can't call the note, it's a 10-year note. They can shop it around. And we'll say that, well, the note is $100,000. Well, that's not a great yield, is it? 4%? So someone will say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $75,000 for that note. They have to come to me and say, Rick, the best we could do is $75,000 for the note. Will you pay us $75,000? If I do, I don't have to, but if I do, I've just reduced my purchase price, my original purchase price, by $25,000. That's the first right of refusal. There's no reason the seller would object to it because they don't have to sell the note. But if they do, I get first shot at it. But the other one I was talking about is substitution of security clause. Well, they don't want to get paid off early. They want that 10-year note to be paid over 10 years. Okay. Well, what I could do then is I can move the note from property A, original property, to property B. What I did was move the note. There have to be 2 elements necessary in order for me to do that. Number 1, there has to be enough equity in the substitute property. So if it's a $50,000 note, the substitute property has to have equity at least $50,000. And there has to be enough cash flow from the second property to pay for the note. It's that simple, all right? Enough equity, enough cash flow. But then I can move the note. But then I own the original property free and clear. If I own it free and clear, I can refinance it, have a tenant paying my note there, and have more money to do with buy another property. Or I could just sell it. I could do whatever I want. But that's a very powerful tool, substitution of security clause. In order to do that, you have to make sure that there is no due on sale. If this gets a little technical for you, keep watching my newsletters. Come to my training, which I'll be advertising. Powerful tool. You can't do it with a bank, but you can do it with a seller. It's perfectly legal, and I wouldn't say it's done every day. A lot of people don't know about it, but I do it, and people that I deal with have done it quite a bit. See you next time.